With a voice that demanded respect and a look that always turned heads, it is surprising how little the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin's fashion, is truly appreciated. No matter the time or place, she was always sure to step out in style. Aretha's sense of style evolved, corresponded, and countered trends in her music and popular fashion throughout her life. From the furs and the shawls, to the wigs and the head wraps, to the great and beautiful gowns, here is a retrospective look at the fashion of Aretha Franklin. When Aretha debuted in 1960 with Columbia Records, there was no doubt about her immense talent, a once-in-a-generation voice with the piano skills to match. But she lacked a distinct identity, and you could see this in the way she was marketed. She wore elegant, form-fitting dresses and evening gowns, with her hair often straightened and put up into a bouffant. This was a very beautiful look, but it was also very much of the time and very similar to other singers of the era, like her contemporaries Mary Wells, Etta James, Diana Ross and the Supremes, and Dionne Warwick. Her fashion reflected her very polished, refined, and sometimes overproduced material while at Columbia. And it wasn't until 1967 that we see a drastic change in her image. After leaving Columbia Records for Atlantic Records, her near instant success was accompanied by a drastic transformation visually. Gone was the classic Motown-esque look of years prior in favor of a flashy, authentic aesthetic, just like her music. Prideful songs like Respect, Natural Woman, and Think lyrically were anthems during the Civil Rights era, and showed that songs with political messages could not only be commercially successful, but be crossover hits too. To accompany this new, bold sound, Aretha wore vibrant, long dresses adorned with shiny jewels, sparkling beads, and feathered sleeves. Her dresses were printed with paisley and geometric designs, and her makeup was much heavier in eyes and eyebrows than years before. Now, you couldn't really say she looked like anyone other than herself. Fans especially loved her many wigs during this era. It was as if with each new hit, her hair got bigger and bigger and bigger. The early 1970s was arguably some of the best, most eccentric years for Aretha in fashion. She began to wear more traditional, Afrocentric ensembles with vibrant and intricate prints. She took a break from the wigs and started to wear head wraps, braided hair, and of course, she started to wear her afro around this time, even dyeing it red in 1973. It was a powerful sign during times of racial tension in America that she was a young and gifted Black woman and was proud of it. Even more diverse than her attire was the various genres she explored during this time period. She got into funk and psychedelic on 1972's Young, Gifted, and Black, recorded the legendary live album Amazing Grace, and her jazz album in 1973, Hey Now Hey, a return to her roots at Columbia. Aretha was more happy and lively than years prior. She embraced a new lifestyle, largely because of her road manager turned lover, Ken Cunningham. He encouraged her to stop drinking and live a more healthy life to become a brand new her. The mid-1970s was when Aretha began to embrace the glamorous look she was known for in decades to come. Her new healthy lifestyle helped her to get down to 125 pounds, and she was proud of it. Aretha was slim, out and about during these years. Akin to a socialite, she could be seen one day performing at award shows and on TV specials, to the next playing tennis with her husband, and on the cover of Ebony magazine after that. Aretha's signature do during these years was a blowout, and blondes and reds. She started wearing form-fitting dresses again, with lace and chiffon. This was also the era we saw her infamous crochet outfits, still talked about in online spaces to this day. But if there was one thing she loved more than anything during this time, it was fur coats, and the mid-1970s were when we saw her wear more of them. Notably on the cover of albums Let Me In Your Life, With Everything I Feel In Me, and the 1976 soundtrack Sparkle. Her style during the mid-1970s began to epitomize the glamour and elegance she became known for in later years. In the late 70s, Aretha was struggling to get a hit record as easily as she used to. With the emergence of new artists and genres, just as before, she lacked a sense of identity in the changing music landscape. With each record, she tried to match their unique aesthetic and even wear looks off the album covers. But it came across as gimmicky and contrived, as was said by critics with the new music she was making. This is also the earliest record we have of Aretha sharing to an interviewer that she does indeed dress herself, unlike her contemporaries, as seen in this 1978 excerpt from interviewer David Nathan. When I asked how much input she had into choosing her outfits, there was a distinct change in the atmosphere as Aretha stiffened up in her chair, for the first time taking on a more defensive stance. "Most of what I wear I select myself," she said. "You can't please everyone, and as long as I'm comfortable with what I wear, I think that's what's important. Occasionally, maybe one of my family will tell me if they don't like something, but that's rare." In the 1980s, her career was revitalized after Clive Davis convinced her to sign with Aretha Records. She underwent yet another transformation. Just like many others, Aretha's wardrobe was all about excess during this decade. While on stage, you'd be hard-pressed to find an image of her not in dresses with sparkles, fringes, or ruffles. She began to wear more makeup with false eyelashes too. She also reveals now that not only does she dress herself, but she designs her own clothes as well.
Did you ever try designing your own?
Yes, I'm wearing my things now. Well, not right now, but on solid gold, I designed the blue that I wore and the orange.
Right.
Yeah. I should talk about another show on this show.
Yeah, sure you can. I love solid gold.
In the 1980s, Aretha Franklin's style evolved with a bold, short, cropped updo that became her signature look. This new era of glamour coincided with her career resurgence, marked by Grammy wins and hits like Jump to It, Freeway of Love, and I Knew You Were Waiting for Me. Her 1985 album Who's Zooming Who went platinum, solidifying her comeback. Aretha's style and music perfectly captured the vibrant spirit of the 1980s. From the 1990s on, we see Aretha combine and embrace styles and looks of her past alongside modern styles that she would wear until her passing. She was back into her wigs of the 60s, her furs of the 70s, and glitz and glam of the 80s. Her dresses were still big and bold, and more than ever, Aretha was being herself, regardless of what anyone else said. Once in the 1990s, she was ridiculed and made fun of by a journalist after a ballet she rehearsed for her 1993's AIDS benefit concert. And this is what she had to say. "How dare you be so presumptuous as to presume you know my attitudes with respect to anything other than music? Obviously, I have enough of what it takes to wear a bustier, and I haven't had any complaints. I'm sure if you could, you would. When you get to be a noted and respected fashion editor, please let us all know. Aretha Franklin. P.S. You were hardly in any position to determine what separates stars from divas, since you are neither one nor an authority on either." And this excerpt is the epitome of Aretha Franklin. If you follow her at all, you can find countless mean comments online ridiculing her. But it did not matter at the end of the day. Regardless of if her dress was a little tight, if you could see her aging body parts, she was letting it all hang out, She wore what she wanted to anyways, and that was the allure of her entire image. From celebrities to everyday people, her influence is still just as strong, whether they realize it or not. Ultimately, authenticity was more important to Aretha than following what everybody else did. And that is what makes the fashion of Aretha Franklin so legendary.